Welcome to this training video of the HoneyBee and some of Adaptivation's other powered switches. A powered switch, basically, it's a switch with electronics in it and a battery. This video was recorded by Adaptivation. My name is John Eckrich. I'm the president of Adaptivation. And it was recorded originally and specifically for the 2020 Closing the Gap conference. That's this year because of the virus. Virtual. I want to quick show you the battery on the inside. It's just a little coin cell. One of these little CR2032 coin cells. You get those anywhere. You get them at Walgreens, CVS, anything. So let's go ahead and turn this on. Power switch on the side. Okay. You can hear that power up warble. That's real nice to just let you know the battery's functioning fine. So it powers up in the 1-inch range. That's the factory setting. So I can move my finger over this little red sensor window. That's where the magic occurs, inside of that window. I can move my finger from 1 inch, or I can just do this sort of thing, close. I can bump it down to the touch range, where I actually have to come really close. 3-inch range. And 6-inch range. Let's go all the way up to 6-inch range. So you see I'm pretty far away. I know it's a little difficult to gauge the distance on the camera. So you notice there's little LEDs. Red is the 6-inch range, and yellow is 3-inch, and then 1-inch and touch range are green. So let's see, what shall we explain? I think I want to talk about calibration. Can't really read it here, but there's a feature on here called calibration, and it's called, there's CAL. And what that is every now and then the HoneyBee, it will drift. It can drift because over time it can drift because of temperature. So what the effects of the drift is you'll end up with a HoneyBee that's either more or less sensitive than the desired range. And when that happens, all you really have to do is recalibrate. And calibration, let's do it for the 6-inch range. All calibration really does is it says to the HoneyBee, this is what your world looks like when nobody is touching it, when nobody has their hand nearby. And that's important because the HoneyBee needs to know that. It needs to know what I guess an empty world looks like. And then when my hand comes over, it knows what an occupied world looks like. So that can actually lead to some problems and some misunderstandings. There are 3 conditions under which the HoneyBee calibrates. When I first turn it on, it calibrates. When I change the range, it calibrates. And when I press the cal button, the calibrate button, it calibrates. Here's a problem that can happen. Let me turn it off. Let me turn it back on, and it will calibrate when I turn it back on. But I'm going to put my hand over, because that just happens to be how I'm holding it. So I turn it on while I'm holding it like this. Let's see if I did that. So look, it's on the 1-inch range, because that's the factory setting on power, but it's not activating. I have to, look at that, I have to come all the way down close. It doesn't look, it seems like it's not sensitive at all. I can change range and do the same thing. Let me get my thumb over it and bump it up to the 6-inch range. See, the red LED came on. And it's not even going, it's stuck on. Or I can calibrate it, I can recalibrate with my other thumb over it. Look at it. It's not activating until I come right down on top of it. That's a problem. So please remember, when you turn this device on, when you change range, or when you press the calibrate button, no fingers near this little red switch, nothing. No, whatever you're going to use an activation object, keep clear of this. I would suggest a good foot, at least a good foot away. Because again, the HoneyBee needs to know what an empty universe looks like. So let's just recalibrate it on the 6-inch range without my hand in the way. And now look, we're back to great functionality again. Okay? And the purpose of that calibrate button, you'll almost never need it. You will almost never need it. And you really pretty much won't ever need it on the 1-inch and the touch range. Maybe the 3-inch range. It was really mostly meant for the 6-inch range because that's where we're really pushing the limits of the sensor inside of here. I want to show you another feature, and that is the HoneyBee provides an auditory click, so that it's really useful for training. Let me show you how we engage that. I turned it off with the slide switch. Now I'm going to press the button. While I'm pressing this button, I'm going to turn it on. I've just told the HoneyBee now, provide me a click, a beep sound. Hear that? Low frequency, or high frequency, low, high, low. This is just really nice for training. It can help your students to understand I'm doing something. It's some cause effect is all it really is. I would not want an entire classroom filled with these because you're going to get all kinds of beeps. So if you don't want the beeps, just turn it on without pressing any buttons. And there we are. I want to talk about this silicone boot. It doesn't have any real functionality. It's just meant, it just comes with it, so it does. You can't stick Velcro on the back of that. It doesn't stick to silicone. So if you want, pull the boot off and put the Velcro right here. Don't cover up the serial number, please. So there's another feature, and then you don't need this. You can just put it off to the side or get rid of it. There's another neat feature about the silicone boot. It's got this hole right here in the back, right? So I can actually put it upside down like this, and we still expose the hole. Now what this has done is it's covered these buttons so the kids won't muck with them. But I can still press the buttons. I can change the range. You'll notice this light went on when I put the cover on here. That's because it thinks something is there. I need to recalibrate it to let the HoneyBee know what its new world looks like with the silicone boot upside down. So let's just press right through here, the calibrate button. See, the light went off? So now I can control it how I need to. You can see the LED down between them on the 1-inch range. And I know the button. I can see the buttons through here. 1-inch, 3-inch, 6-inch range. Okay? So that's the HoneyBee. Now I want to show you another switch, powered switch. This is the BrightBox. That's what the BrightBox looks like. This is the switch surface here. This glows. This this sort of pink color is off right now, but let me plug it into our light and go like this and turn it on. Right now, I press it, and it goes on. Now this light could just as well be a communication device or something else, but I wanted to show you we get actually two responses happening. Our device is turning on. Let's just pick something that's not bright like that. Let's pick a fan. I like that better. So now I can activate the fan. Uh-oh, is it not turned on? There we go. Okay. I can also have a blinking light. See how it flashes, a double flash? But the real power of the BrightBox is that the light can be turned on before we press it. What this is doing is it's a cue, it's a visual cue to direct my attention to the switch. So when I press it, it continues to flash and it turns my device on. But I can also have it on constantly. It just flickers a little bit when I press it. Or I can put it in nightlight mode. Now let me turn the light off here, overhead light. You can sort of see it. It might be flashing on your screen. I'm going to turn off here. I've got more lights to turn off. Okay, so you can see it. It's functioning as a night light. It might be flickering on your screen. That's just the way camera works. So I can turn this on. And there goes the fan. So it's just a neat nightlight switch. Now something to keep in mind, this takes a lot of energy. It's a standard 9-volt battery, but it takes a lot of energy to light up this light. So if you're going to have it on constantly, you're going to wear the battery down pretty quickly, in a day. That's why we have a jack that you can plug a 9-volt adapter in there that plugs into the wall. Then you'll be okay. That's pretty much that. It's very straightforward. Here's a similar device. This is the BrightBox Tactile. The BrightBox Tactile has the same light on here. I can turn it on constant, or I can turn it on flash. But I also have vibrate mode. Let me put it down. I believe we'll be up. Let me turn the light off, but the vibrate mode on. So I can feel it vibrates, and it feels like old style pages when they vibrate. Or our phones. Our phones have vibrating little motors in them. Hear that? I mean, you can hear it. Or I can have it pulse vibrating. Or I can do both at once. The light. Okay. So the bright box simply provides a switch that it's a light that directs the bright box, I should say, this. They look the same. The difference is, of course, the label on the back and the way the switches are labeled on the front. But if you look at them from this direction, you can't really tell the difference. But they're neat little switches. One more powered switch. It's called the table tapper. Let's plug it into our light. So the table tapper has inside of it a vibration sensor. And by placing the table tapper on the table, I've effectively converted this entire table surface into a switch. Let me turn it on. I have it in latched mode, so I can tap it and activate it. You can't really see off camera. I can go way down here. I'm on the far end of this table. I'm off camera. And I'm turning it on and off just by tapping my finger. I can do the same thing over here. This whole table is a switch. Or I can put it on timed mode. And this is a marketing unit. The timer is a little it's a little long, but you can set the timer mode from 1 second to 60 seconds. Okay, you can use an object to make it go. Let me just tap with the screwdriver. Same thing, very light tap. Okay, I can also adjust the sensitivity with this knob, so I have to hit harder. See, a tap won't do it anymore. Let's go a little less sensitive. There. See, I have to kind of bang the table to make it go. A little light tap won't do it. Okay? Again, very straightforward. This is a very specialized switch, but the neat thing is that it allows you could have a bunch of students around this table. When it's their turn, all they got to do is hit it, and then they can activate whatever it's plugged into. I just have this light, plug that into a communications device, like, say, our sequencer, and they could take turns reading a book. Every time someone presses the table. Now, if someone presses the table out of turn, then they press it, and it's what they're going to have to learn. That's part of the lesson. This is the manual for the HoneyBee. It's very straightforward. One thing I really would like, and I know I'm guilty of this myself, in the back of the manual there's a section called Important Notes. Please read that. It just has a description of a lot of the little idiosyncrasies of the HoneyBee, sort of a troubleshooting guide as well. Some of the things I talked about are in here. But that's it for Adaptivation's powered switches. I haven't shown you any real applications. I just wanted to go over some of the features of these. There's a crazy wild number of applications that these can do. Maybe in another video we'll show that. Certainly I know online we have some resources which you're welcome to check out, www.adaptivation.com. So with that, I hope that this was informative and interesting, and if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.